Hi everyone, it's been a while since I spoke with you last. I'm going live and it's like a weird and scary feeling that I think before I didn't have a problem with, and now that it's been a couple of months, it definitely feels different. People have asked me why I haven't posted videos in a couple of months, and I've told them that I took a summer hiatus, which is true. Um, but recently I had a conversation with someone that helped me reveal a deeper reason for why it was that I didn't go and post videos for a couple of months. And originally I didn't think anything of it. And I just thought, it's summertime. I need a break. I'm going to focus on other things. I don't necessarily need to be, using my time, to be busy all the time. I can sometimes just relax a little bit. But actually there was something else at play. So I had this conversation, and I first said, I had this experience a couple of months ago, and it was a feeling of burnout, and I felt like I needed a break, and I didn't know why. And now I understand so much better what happened, because the truth is, we don't generally stop things that make us happy and give us energy. And for me, sharing interesting or inspiring points give me so much energy and vitality. So for me to not do that, there had to have been a deeper reason. So that's what I wanted to share with you and how it connects to this time of year. So a couple of months ago, I was hired by an organization to do a project, and anyone who knows me well knows that I'm often doing side projects because I really love and have a passion for Jewish outreach and education. So anytime an organization asks me to help, I often say yes. I always say yes, almost. Anyway, so a couple of months ago, I was asked to do some project, and I basically had to wear every single hat in the project. I was the marketer, I was the coordinator of the project, I was the one who was offering the content. There was 100 things to do, and I literally did everything. And I was really happy to, and I wasn't getting paid, and I wasn't getting any money out of it, and that was totally fine with me. I wasn't doing it for the money. It gave me a lot of joy. What happened was, on the day that I actually did the project and it was happening, it was like D-Day to present, it did not go the way that I thought it was going to go. In fact, it went totally in a different direction. The participants who came were totally different, and the vibe was really different, and I didn't come over as the way I thought I was going to, so that threw me for a curve, and the whole thing just didn't work. And afterwards, everyone said, "How did it go?" And I said it went great, and I smiled. And a little piece of me was like, "Gosh, that didn't go the way I wanted it," but I didn't think anything of it. I just felt a sense of exhaustion from the whole thing, that it drained me of every single part of myself, and I had nothing else to give in terms of side projects. I was just going to hold down my job and hold down my family, and that was it. And that's why for the last couple of months, I haven't posted a video, because I had this severe burnout. And I thought that was strange, because typically when you're tired, you still want to give, because if giving gives you energy, then you'll be able to get energy and not be tired anymore. But for me, there was this negative voice undermining all of my efforts. Like, if this failed, then the next thing you're going to do is going to fail. So every single time I try to take a step in the direction of working in Jewish outreach or education outside of my job's parameters, I stopped myself with those negative voices for a couple of months, and now I'm back on the horse. So it is a perfect tie-in, because we are in the month of Av, which is a Jewish month notorious for sadness and pain historically and on a global level, including today. It is the month that we minimize our joy so that we can make space for true mourning. Now, what I thought was really interesting, low battery, so I better talk quickly. What I thought was really interesting was that the juxtaposition between this month of Av and next month, which is going to be the month where we are preparing for the high holidays called Elul, is really strange. Anila Dodi V'Dodi Li is the Hebrew line that's associated with the month of Elul. It means, "I'm for my beloved and my beloved is for me." It's this really romantic line about the Jewish people and their loving relationship towards God, and specifically like an individual's personal relationship with God. And that is supposed to set the stage to go into the high holidays, to have the day of judgment, to have the day to crown God as king, to do Yom Kippur and do the day of atonement and all these things. Why on the tail of mourning would we go into this? And, it was something that I really had to think about. And the fact that I had this very debilitating experience helped me think about how when we're at a low, and the Jewish people have been at a low this month, you have nowhere else to turn. The expression, there are no atheists in the foxhole. And sometimes you find out that, I don't know, people in jail turn to God. People who are at a low and just everything has come out from underneath them. They don't have a family, or they don't have friends, or they don't have mentors, or someone has disappointed them in a significant way. They just have nowhere else to turn, and they're in that much pain, and so they turn upwards. And that's the idea with mourning. Mourning without purpose is just despair, but mourning with purpose is mourning and having pain and then turning it upwards. So I wanted to give like a relevant example. You ever had your cell phone or your computer freeze when you're in the middle of something important? And we all turn into IT people and we try to, figure out how to solve it. And oftentimes we unplug the whole thing and restart it. Sometimes we need to reset. The problem is if you're in the middle of doing something really important, you lose a lot of your information. And what are you going to do then? I mean, I've had that moment where I've lost essays and articles and videos. It's awful. Hours and hours and hours of work never to be found again. But you have to do that because in order to reset the program, you need to experience this loss, and your computer system has to experience this loss too, because otherwise you can't get past it. Although maybe there's an IT person in the world who doesn't need to go through it. But I know for myself, that's what happens. I have to stop and unplug the whole thing and plug it back in. And I experience this awful loss. Like, no, all that time and effort that I just put into this, it's gone. And I have to start from scratch. And that's really hard. To start from scratch is really, really difficult, but it's necessary in order to grow and to create something new with, whether you're working on an article or whether you're working on a relationship. Sometimes you have to experience those kinds of major setbacks. Sheryl Sandberg wrote Option B, and I was reading it, and there's a lot of Torah ideas behind this book, and I definitely recommend it. But one thing that strikes me is that her title is Option B, and the idea is she is the COO of Facebook. I think she's got a net worth of billions of dollars, and she basically lost her husband a couple years ago, 2015, suddenly and out of nowhere, and she was in deep mourning with her young children. And option A was that her husband and her children were going to live a beautiful life together. And this is option B, living life without her husband. So she wants to make the most of option B. And here's how to make the most of option B. Read the book. The thing that I have a problem with is the entire content of the book is perfect for me. But the title drives me crazy because the option A is actually whatever our life is. That is what's in our best interest. Now, I know that that's hard to hear because, you have mourning and pain and suffering, personal and global, but that's the truth. Everything that we have, we know is going to be for our best interest for ultimate maximum growth. In fact, the option B is what we want. To win the lottery would be my, ideal situation, but that's not going to be in my best interest, so that's option B. My current life, where I don't win the lottery, that's option A. And that's a whole sort of flipping on its head the way you're going to think about your life. Is your life an option B life? Or can you live an option A life, even if you don't get to control things and call the shots? And I understand that that's painful because sometimes we go through serious loss, but it's an important thing to consider. I'll just end with this. The real growth begins when we can shed something, when we lose something and we have to rebuild. Because otherwise, we're just never going to be able to have the shake up to reevaluate what's going on and to work on ourselves. We need loss. We need pain in order to look at ourselves and say, I need to do something different. I need to change a direction. I need to be more focused on something else. These are not just wake-up calls. It's more than that. It's a shedding of a skin and into something new and transformative. And when we do that, then we are able to allow ourselves to be open for growth. And that kind of mourning and that kind of pain, focused and not just for nothing, that's what life is all about. I wish everybody a wonderful night. I hope you liked it. It's been a while, but I'm back into the swing of things, and I will hopefully see you Monday night. Bye.